Good morning, Your Holiness. This recorded program will be broadcast as part of our continuing medical education offering, Lifestyle Medicine, Tools for Promoting Healthy Change, which will be held on June 11th, 2021. Welcome all to Lifestyle Medicine, Tools for Promoting Healthy Change, sponsored by Harvard Medical School, Spaulding Rehabilitation Hospital, and the Institute of Lifestyle Medicine. I am the course director, Dr. Eddie Phillips. This continuing medical education course was first introduced in India in 2006, and now we've come full circle to Dharamsala, India in 2021. We have run 24 courses training thousands of doctors and healthcare providers from around the world who are now incorporating lifestyle medicine into their practices and lives. Over the last 15 years, we have welcomed researchers, clinicians, and experts to share their work. Today, we have the honor to welcome our most special guest, His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. As a memento of this event, as you've seen, we are proud to share our hat with you. His Holiness, the Dalai Lama of Tibet, is the highest spiritual leader of Tibet, the retired political leader of Tibet, and the most recognized religious leader on the planet. He is working tirelessly for the benefit of his people and indeed all people around the world. We are recording this session late in the evening in Boston at a time corresponding to morning in India. We will be sharing His Holiness's teaching with a global audience of doctors, nurses, therapists, psychologists, and many other health professions, exploring and advancing their training in lifestyle medicine. Tonight, we welcome the Harvard Medical School Chair of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation, Dr. Ross Safan, to this webinar. Thank you, Ross, for your support. And extend a special welcome to Dr. Thayung Nyandak, who bridges both our worlds as a Tibetan graduate of Harvard Medical School. Thayung?
I feel highly honored and fortunate to be in your presence today. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely thank you, Gundula, for everything you have done and continue to do for all the Tibetan students. And it is because of you, His Holiness, that Tibetan students such as myself are able to achieve accomplishments in all corners of the world. Thank you, Gyamrumche. And thank you, Dr. Phillips and Harvard Medical School, for inviting me to this wonderful event.
Thank you, Dr. Nyandak. I would also like to acknowledge the guidance and support of Dr. Barry Curzon in making this teaching session a reality. We are here to learn from His Holiness the tenets of kindness and compassion in medicine. And then we will have our first year students from Harvard Medical School and Harvard School of Dental Medicine, as well as faculty of our course, ask His Holiness questions. But I'd like to start with the first question. And it's a difficult one because I've studied what you teach about kindness and compassion, and I'm doing my very best. It concerns COVID. I've enjoyed seeing the pictures of you receiving your own COVID vaccination. It provides support and inspiration for many who remain hesitant to receive the vaccine. We look to India as COVID ravages the country and pray for your safety and health. However, in the US, the vaccine is readily available, and the biggest threat is now coming from those who actually decline to be vaccinated. If our patients choose not to take their medications, or they want to continue smoking or not be active, it doesn't impact the caregiver's health directly. My question, Your Holiness, is how can we remain compassionate when our patients' refusal to actually take the vaccine puts us, the healthcare providers, at direct risk?
Thank you. I feel great honor. This is some discussions with some famous university, Harvard University. So now basically, the physical health very sort of related with peace of mind. Mental level, calm, peace, without anxiety, anger. Then, you see, because mind completely calm, peace, so it affects physical level also, more healthier. Mental level, more anxiety, more anger, then it affects physical as a comfort. So therefore, I think, frankly speaking, in Western world, you see, not much sort of thinking about peace of mind. Whereas in India, over 1,000 years, the non-violence and compassion, and although all major different religious tradition emphasis compassion, compassionate mind, but that usually you see people consider it as a religious matter. As far as public level, not much sort of notice peace of mind. Now, recent years, some scientists begin to show interest about peace of mind. I myself also, you see, when I first come to India as a refugee, nobody asked about peace of mind. Now, gradually, some scientists, particularly medical scientists, begin to, they feel for physical health, peace of mind is very important, close connection. So now, some medical scientists already sort of carrying some research how to keep peace of mind. So now it is quite encouraging and very important. Some Western scientists and now including some universities now paying some attention about inner peace, not talking about religious thing or faith, simply how to keep peace of mind.
Thank you, Your Holiness. I'd like to have some of the students and faculty ask questions. The first question comes from Vineet Desai, who's a first-year student at Harvard Medical School. Vineet?
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Your Holiness. My name is Vineet Desai. I'm a first-year student at Harvard Medical School, and I'm originally from California. My question is, trust and dependency are a very important part of the doctor-patient interaction. Doctors will sometimes make mistakes that could have bad consequences for their patients. How should doctors cope with the guilt of their mistakes, which were unintentional yet caused harm?
Now, physical, illness, illness should take medicine. So now, for example, now these days, a very, very unfortunate sort of some worldwide, some illness. So very important, take medical treatment It is very essential. If possible, combined with peace of mind. There was the illness, too much anxiety is additional the cause. But calm mind and meantime taking medicine, I think very useful. Remember, no, you never doctor maybe.
No.
Thank you, Your Holiness. We have a question from Dr. Abby Altman, who's a faculty member at Harvard Medical School. Abby?
I'm a psychologist with expertise in evidence-based psychotherapy and behavior change. For some, to worry is to be prepared. Although it seems to offer a sense of preparedness and control, it often causes more suffering than it helps. What would be a productive way to approach this mentality with patients who tend to get stuck in these less helpful thought patterns?
딱 가르쳐 드려요.
저 70 등에 생겼네. 소식 차시. 이 지금 답으로 간대서 줘. 디레.
Basically, as I mentioned earlier, day by day, month by month, year by year, you see, peace of mind is, I think, best way to prevent some of these illness. But once illness already happened, then peace of mind may not be much effect. So as a preventive measure, usually, day by day, if you keep peace of mind, that really makes some benefit. Then some actual illness, karsadi means nebu.
Virus, bacteria.
Already virus, something happened, then peace of mind alone, not much help. You should take medicine. So as a preventive measure, peace of mind really makes us a lot of help, like that.
Thank you, Your Holiness. We have a question from Gerardo Alvarez, who's a first-year student in the Harvard School of Dental Medicine.
Your Holiness, my name is Gerardo Alvarez, a first-year student at Harvard School of Dental Medicine, and I was born in Valencia, Venezuela. I want to thank you for being here with us and sharing your knowledge and life perspectives. My question is, very often students, especially those that devote many hours to their careers, go around living life without pausing, enjoying the moment, and admiring the little things in life, the small achievements. What advice do you have for us students, especially first years, that have many years of studying and long shifts ahead of us? How can we pause for a minute and enjoy life? And how can we manage that in an institution like Harvard, where everyone is extremely driven and the imposter syndrome can affect our behavior?
Now, this is quite serious sort of point. A materialistic world never pay much attention about mind, only religious faith. So now education, secular education, not sort of involve any sort of religious teaching. But we can make a distinction. Religious faith, that's only for religious-minded people. But you see, from religious text, for example, Indian Hindu text, as well as Buddhist text, a lot of explanation about mind, about emotion. So these, although you see come from religious text, but we should consider these are also the subject for academic. In India, usually we call secular, nothing to do with religion. You should, but you should take some ideas, some knowledge from religious text, but itself consider just a secular. So now in the West, in the past, the religion only faith. So therefore, now in modern education, which come from West, so now time come, education. We should include education about mind, secular way, nothing to do with faith, simply like you say, knowledge about brain, with that about emotion. This as a secular, nothing to do with religion. Information come from religious text. It doesn't matter, but subject itself is something secular, something, yes, something just a knowledge, not talking about the religious faith. So now, I feel the modern education, which come from West, you see, not talking about these mind, these things. So now education should include education about our mind, about emotion. These days, I am talking hygiene, hygiene of physical. Similarly, hygiene of emotion or mind. So now, from school, in education, academic field, we should include the education about mind, about emotion, how to keep peace of mind. These things should include in education field. I feel that is quite, in a way, very important, but also, you see, quite, easy. Children, before join school, in the family, children immense receive affection from their mother. Children who receive the maximum affection from their parent, much more healthier. Parent divorce or some different situation, and it really affects children's mind. So that shows child because of the physical sort of condition, children very much appreciate others' affection. Then some scientists also say we are social animal. Any social animal, their sense of concern of their own group, biologically, that is there, because your own survival depends on the group. Even animal, any social animal, they have some kind of closeness feeling. And when they remain in the group, they feel safe. When isolate, they feel anxiety. So that's nothing to do with religion. It's simply a biological factor. So now, from birth, children very much appreciate affection. Now in education, once they start education, except religious faith, otherwise to say no longer information about emotion, about compassion, these things. So modern education, I think we should add something about the human. In education, we very much sort of the detailed explanation about our health, our physical, and also, and some level, education about brain. Now, like that, we should include education about human emotion, about the human mind. These should not consider as a religious matter, simply knowledge how to keep peace of mind in order to keep healthy body, and not only one individual, but a whole family, whole society, more compassionate society, much peaceful, much happier, like that. So I feel strongly in our existing modern secular education should include some sort of education about emotion, about mind. That's my feeling.
No. 그건 좀 로병 책임서 직대 나온 기부 용어야. 근데 같이 좀
True, it is true. Education, not much talking about peace of mind, and then you see that also is a connection. In order to keep peace of mind, honest, truthful, very important. If you tell lie, if you try to deceive other, in deep your mind, you also feel uncomfortable. So in order to keep peace of mind, compassionate mind, and honest, truthful is key factor. So now today, unfortunately, in our society, hypocrisy pretended something. So you see, people lost faith. Finally, you yourself become lonely person. If you remain honest or truthful, then people trust you. As a result, you yourself feel you surrounded people as a friend. So now our modern education should include about peace of mind, about emotion, as an academic subject, not a religious subject. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Imposter syndrome is a miserable problem, and now we have a way of dealing with it, which I think is our own self-compassion. So I thank you. The next question comes from Dr. Sadie Alicio, a faculty member at Harvard Medical School. Sadie?
Hello, Your Holiness. Thank you. I'm a medical educator, a physician, and expert in the field of trauma-informed care. Most of my patients have experienced some form of physical, sexual, or psychological trauma. I am drawn to the problem of human suffering. My question is this: what is the most important thing we can do to help ourselves heal from our own painful life experiences and to help our patients to do the same?
Now our society is no moral principle. Only think about material value and the sort of temporary sort of, also the happiness, including sexual misconduct, like that. So now, there are a lot of problems which our generation experience, you see, due to recent decades or even recent centuries, we completely neglected about this inner value. So the whole society create, never pay my attention, never pay the attention of compassion or taking care of other. So now only hope is making some education on moral principle, with moral principle, and including about mind. Then generation who come from that kind of education could be more different generation. So now, today, we facing a lot of sort of problem, hypocrisy, deceiving, so because of that, you see, some sort of problem, unhappy society, unhappy family, unhappy individual, all the causes of this negative thing already ripened. So the result, the problem remain. Now only hope, you see, better education, including emotion, mind, and then more compassionate generation come. I think whole humanity, I'm quite sure, become more peaceful. And whenever we met someone, we can trust. The present situation, when we met someone, a little sort of anxiety, and even smile come. Whether there's a smile, artificial smile, or sarcastic smile, or genuine smile. So the society quite sophisticated. So these, I think, education, the key factor. Education, not necessarily combined with religious faith, simply, you see, truthful, or deal with basic human, mental, also the values, like that. This is my feeling. Okay. Then next.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question we have comes from Meghna Vagwala, who's a first-year student at Harvard Medical School. Meghna?
Thank you, Your Holiness. I'm a first year at Harvard Medical School interested in mental health across cultures. And my question today is about mindfulness. So mindfulness, which makes us aware of ourselves and our place in the world, is associated with mental wellness. But on the other hand, many mental illnesses are characterized by behaviors which serve as an escape from awareness of yourself, for example, substance use or eating disorders. My question is, how can we make mindfulness more accessible and therapeutic for patients who have mental health problems? And these patients often find engaging with mindfulness and an acute awareness of themselves to be very difficult.
There's simply mindfulness or single-pointed meditation. It's just a method. So you see some meditationer, they themselves find difficult peace of mind. So mindfulness is just a method. How to use mindfulness, that makes differences. So mainly, I feel fuller knowledge about our emotion, about our mind. That's, I feel, more effective, more useful. I myself, you see, mindfulness still difficult, but I sort of say, usually thinking about altruism. That really gives me inner peace, inner strength. All destructive emotion then neutralize. So compassion based on altruism is really best method to keep peace of mind. Not necessarily mindfulness like that. Okay. I have some sort of friend who spent many years about mindfulness, but when they face some problem, they too much excited, too much frustrated. So the thinking is the key factor. With that thinking, then mindfulness, okay. Without sort of this knowledge, this thinking, just mindfulness are not sufficient. Okay. Now, next.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question comes from Dr. Ronnie Pollack. He's the Assistant Course Director of the Lifestyle Medicine course from Harvard Medical School. Ronnie?
Good morning, Your Holiness. My name is Ronnie Pollack. I'm joining from Tel Aviv, from Israel. And I'm a leader in lifestyle medicine and helping to establish culinary medicine. And I would like to shift the discussion to food. And my question is, can you please describe the way you see the connection between healthy diet and health and well-being? What you consider a healthy diet? What are the food items that we should consume and what we shouldn't? And if you can please share your personal eating behavior.
I do not think the mental sort of emotion not much connect with food. Some vegetarian practitioner. At the same time, a lot of worry, much anxiety. So food not much sort of effect or mental state. Then, of course, eating too much, then feel sleep. So in order to keep mind alert, then the food, I say, quite
Moderation. Moderation.
Oh, so I mean too much, and at the same time, should not too little. It affects body and eventually mind. So therefore, but then Buddhist monk, no dinner. That also is good. Heavy breakfast and a heavy lunch and no dinner. My case, when I feel hungry and a few biscuits evening with my tea, like that, that I think some effect, Buddha sort of, the monk's role, afternoon, I mean, no dinner like that. But then, if physical condition too weak, then Buddha always sort of exception. There are 253 rules, but he mentioned that any patient, all these, no connection, no kasa. Never job.
So the people who are weak, physically weak, they have exceptions.
Like that. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question comes from Maud Jansen. She's a first-year student at Harvard. Maud?
Hello, Your Holiness. I'm a first-year medical student at Harvard Medical School, and I'm originally from the Netherlands. I am interested in ethics and healthcare as a human right. Here's my question. Suffering from illness or injury can make people feel unworthy or not fully part of society. What is your advice to physicians to help patients feel whole again?
Now, according to my own sort of experience, when I carry checkup by doctor, then those doctor who treated you like a machine, then sometimes I feel a little anxiety. Doctors, nurses who really showing smile and warm-heartedness, then I develop full trust. So that you see, the person who come to hospital or meet doctor, is always with great hope. So the doctors and the nurses, you see, beside their profession, they should show human affection, human compassion. And doctors themselves take real sort of responsibility, or say the patient's illness, consider their own illness, so serious sort of serious concern and affection, that really help, really helpful. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question comes from Yu Ying Guo, who's a first-year student at Harvard School of Dental Medicine. Yu Ying?
Hello, hi, Your Holiness. I am a first-year student at Harvard School of Dental Medicine from Massachusetts. I am interested in preventative and pediatric oral health care and environmental sustainability. I have watched your recent conversation on the climate crisis. So today I'd like to ask you, what are your thoughts on healthcare providers being in a unique position to extend kindness and compassion to heal and care for humans, as well as preserve and protect other forms of life on Earth?
Now, basically, it is entire humanity's responsibility to create happy world, and including the environment, healthy environment. This entire humanity's responsibility. And previously, we simply, you see, think your own nation, your own community, your own family. Now time come, we have to think about the entire 7 billion human beings. We should sort of take serious concern and environment. So, and particularly, see, teachers, as I briefly mentioned, teacher in education, we should include education about how to keep peace of mind, how to keep happy family, how to keep happy community, mainly through education. Then doctors, nurses also, you see, have the, serious connection. So when patient come, the doctor, as I briefly mentioned, take with human feeling, not just mechanic way. So with human feeling, that's really helpful. So the whole society, including politicians or businessmen, all, you see, should have more sense of honesty, truthful, and compassion. So whole society are connected. So every profession, particularly doctor, nurses, when patient really facing difficulties, then doctors, nurses taking care. So at that moment, the doctor, nurses show special sort of affection that very, very significant, very important. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question comes from Dr. Monique Tello, who's on faculty at Harvard Medical School. Monique?
Thank you, Your Holiness. Racism is a massive public health problem in the United States. We have initiatives to recognize and dismantle systems that promote power differentials and oppression. However, I have witnessed that the practical work of these initiatives can be met with denial and even resistance. Those who speak up for change are sometimes told that they're imagining things or exaggerating. Others are made to feel that they are possibly risking their jobs. The work can be exhausting, uncomfortable, and frightening. It seems safer to be quiet, especially for those who do not hold power. Your Holiness, what should people do? Fight for change, but risk their relationships and maybe their job? Or stay quiet and safe, waiting for a better time to come forth? Is there a balance between pushing for change and staying whole? It feels like there's no right path.
Yes, I agree. The present situation. Firstly, we too much emphasis my nation. Then within that, my community, and including color. So these, due to lack of the conviction, 7 billion human beings, one. All human beings are same. Same. We all human beings, actually we are brothers, sisters. So your promotion of oneness of entire human being. My own sort of experience. When I was in Tibet, then we little bit isolated. After I came to India, I met number of people. So you see different religious people, different sort of family background. Then they consider oneness of human being. That really makes me happy. Wherever I go, I always met someone, whether different color or rich and poor. I always consider just a human brothers, sisters. So now we need some effort, mainly through education, oneness of 7 billion human beings. I myself fully committed. So the concept of oneness of human being, it immense benefit to myself when I visit different country or different people. I always consider we are same, or we are human brothers, sisters, same. So I think through education or through traditional sort of thinking, is too much emphasis the different color, and on top of that, rich and poor. Poor people consider something lower. Rich people, you need some help from them. So more, for example, rich people met, when we met rich people, more artificial smile. Poor people come, go like that. So these are, say, lack of the sense of oneness of 7 billion human beings. We train all sentient beings same, and particularly we human beings on this planet, we all same. Many religious teaching, we all created by God. God as our Father, one Father, the 7 billion human beings, on this planet, all are children of God. So we actually brothers, sisters from one Father. So we think it's more serious than these things. And then, as a Buddhist, we always use entire mother-centered being. We always say that word. So from deep heart is recognized as the same sentient being and particularly same human being. That's very, very important. Then those problems which created by too much division, we and they. So education and also religious thing, not sort of as a part of practice of faith, but simply taking some good idea from religious text, but in order to build the concept of oneness of human being, like that.
Thank you, Your Holiness. The next question comes from Lansing Sugita. She's a first-year student at Harvard Medical School. Lansing?
Hello. Thank you, Your Holiness. My name is Lansing Sugita. I'm a first-year student at Harvard Medical School from Honolulu, Hawaii. Many patients are dealing with a tremendous amount of stress, anger, and fear. How can we, as future doctors, best inspire peace in our patients and their families? Also, as physicians, we are often faced with high stress situations and large emotional burdens. What advice do you have for staying resilient in these circumstances?
So when we met someone, too much frustration, fear, we should show them our sincere feeling. So their anger, frustration automatically reduce. These not much help from medicine, but our human attitude show them human affection, human compassion, and a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood. Then their mental anxiety and fear automatically reduce. Then meantime, according to the illness, give medicine with that kind of attitude, then I think very helpful. Then doctors, nurses themselves, you see, helping other people protect their life. It's great work. So doctor should feel this is good opportunity for me to practice compassion. If you are a believer, this is the best way to serve God or to serve Buddha. So should feel if you have that kind of circumstances, then that's the best opportunity to serve human being, to practice compassion, like that. So people, particularly doctors and nurses, when they have the opportunity to serve more difficult people, more serious illness people should feel this is very, very best opportunity to serve, to show my practice of compassion. Like that. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. You've spoken many times now about education, and we have a question now about education from Dr. Tracy Godet, who's the Executive Director of the Whole Health Institute. Tracy?
Thank you so much. Your Holiness, in medicine, we are trained to diagnose and treat diseases of the body and mind. But the doorway to healing is so often through the heart and soul. Now, in Bentonville, Arkansas, we are creating a new whole health school of medicine and health sciences. We believe that healthcare can be grounded in an exploration of a person's sense of purpose, and that our mutuality, interdependence, compassion, and awareness of a collective humanity can be profoundly altered. This can lead to a transformation in social consciousness and a quantum leap in health and well-being. My question is, what advice do you have for us as we begin to design this new school of medicine and health sciences?
Now, as I mentioned briefly, now more and more scientists now really showing interest or pay attention about peace of mind. For that, compassion is the key factor. So now, in previously, we simply consider illness for physical level. Now, more and more scientists also now showing the peace of mind is key factor. So, automatically connected with compassion, altruism. So now, as I mentioned earlier, we are social animal. Even animal, if you show them sincere sort of warm feeling, they also very much appreciate. We human beings also same. So just a physical level, not sufficient. Mental level should show more affection, more compassion. So now more special scientists now recognize that. So in medical school, when you teach your student the profession, medical profession, important. At the same time, warm-heartedness, and consider an other patient as your own brothers, sisters. Then you also mentioned dental interdependency. The patient, you see, they recover quickly, very much depend on nurses and doctors. So that's interrelated. The doctor taking best medicine, but too much worry, and surrounded cool atmosphere. Then medicine alone may not much help. So taking medicine at the same time, surrounded with more compassionate atmosphere, and very, very important, very helpful. So that's interconnected. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. I'd like to actually go back to the first question because I think I didn't give a chance for a full answer when Vineet Desai asked, how should doctors cope with the guilt of their mistakes, which were unintentional, yet may have caused their patients harm?
Now, or right or wrong, ultimately related with motivation. Or with sincere motivation, even for example, the teacher or a mother, sincere sort of feeling and taking care, and sometimes use a little bit harsh word or sometimes say little sort of kasa. Oh, like that. So every human action, whether right, any action which brings differences in other person's mind is much depend on motivation. Out of serious sort of concern, compassion, and use harsh words, the person, for example, a child, which is not much harm, not much feel, or anger. No? So every action, actually, harmful action or positive action, much depend on motivation. So, mental level, more compassionate, with that sense of responsibility, then action sometimes may be little harsh action is necessary. Okay, no problem. Like medicine, sometimes you need some operation. So that method a little bit harsh. My own case, the gallbladder, due to illness, gallbladder remove. I never feel angry, my doctor. They really, doing this work in order to save my life. So, not important their method like that. Much depend on motivation, sincere, what's the attitude. Okay.
Thank you, Your Holiness. I feel better. We're down to our last couple of questions, and I'd like to ask one that comes from the practice of lifestyle medicine. We are advising our patients often to make changes. Often they need to be more active, getting some exercise. They need to stop smoking, not drink alcohol. And we find that attaching the patient's sense of purpose, their mission, their aspirations to the suggestions makes it more easy for them. So someone who's wants to take care of their grandchildren may do something more. They'll lose weight and they'll get more active. They may wish to save the planet. So I ask my patients, what's your purpose? My question, Your Holiness, is what suggestions do you have when my patients don't know what their purpose is? How do we help them find it?
Very good question. I think Harvard University, very famous. So eventually, in medical school, also the subject, the best way to doctor themselves, you see, in order to keep enthusiasm, peace of mind, and also to patient, you see, the patient have the full trust. So all these, also the level, the sincere, compassionate mind is key factor. So I think, I hopefully, the Harvard University's, the medical school, some lesson, the peace of mind is important. For that, compassion, altruism is something important. So such also the lesson. While you carry teaching about doctor, some sort of, or also the mental attitude, if you include, may be very useful.
We will do our best to make that part of the curriculum. Here's our last question, and our time is unfortunately running out. Your Holiness, do you have a message for all of the doctors, the nurses, and the frontline workers all across the world who are right now sacrificing their life to care for the needy? They are really putting compassion into action. What advice do you have for us?
I really appreciate all the doctors, nurses, who spend day and night to serve people, particularly in this case, patient. So nobody come to hospital for holiday. Through desperate situation, they come to hospital. So doctors, nurses, you see, showing your also sense of responsibility, taking care their life. And meantime, you see, keep patients hope and confidence. So your work, great service to human brothers, sisters. So I really appreciate. Please continue your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness. I'd also like to thank the course faculty, the students from Harvard Dental and Harvard Medical School, and the audience who's joining us to hear and to learn the practice of lifestyle medicine and to learn from you, Your Holiness. You've taught us, and we've covered a lot of ground in this past hour, and we've covered a bunch of very different issues, everything from racism to the climate crisis. We've talked about COVID. We've even heard your advice on how to build a new medical school that incorporates altruism, embodies kindness and compassion. I wrote some notes, and I'm thrilled that I've learned that altruism overcomes destructive emotions. And I love the idea that sincere motivation is the key, and that might overcome potential guilt amongst physicians or nurses if something goes wrong. We've learned from you that compassion is the feeling we have for others, and that the altruism is what drives us. My hope is that we can incorporate your teaching into our lives and our practices in kindness, and share your compassion for our patients, for our colleagues, and also for ourselves. Your Holiness, it is an honor to be your student and to help to spread your wisdom. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I always admire the Harvard University. When I have opportunity to give some talk, Harvard, I really feel proud. So the great university now with the name of Harvard University, big name on practice beside profession, more compassionate sort of expression, taking care. Eventually, I'm hoping patient who really very angry person once join Harvard Medical School, and after that, that angry person become more peaceful. I hope, you see, you can make that kind of sort of situation, changing situation. So Harvard University, big name, or really profession, now pay more attention about warm-heartedness. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.